Hello, and welcome to another episode of the PintSizeAnalyze podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to be recapping the Seattle Mariners' 1-0 win over the Tampa Bay Rays this afternoon, or this evening. It was night on the East Coast. They won 1-0 behind a six-inning, four-hit, behind a six-inning, four-hit, zero-run, zero-earned run, four-walk, eight strikeout performance by Luis Castillo. He went up against Zach Littell of the Rays, who went 8 innings, giving him 5 hits, 1 run. That run was earned, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, and 0 home runs. And then for the Mariners, later in the game, the bullpen was excellent. They went 3 scoreless innings with Isaiah Campbell getting 3 strikeouts in his appearance, Matt Brash pitching a scoreless inning, and then Munoz pitching a scoreless inning. But it was really the story of Castillo today. He had a really interesting outing where he definitely did not have his best stuff. He had, as evidenced by the 4 walks, and actually that may not be best stuff. Maybe not the best command today would actually be a better way to put it, because he's still racking up strikeouts, as you can see by the 8. It was more the command that he actually was struggling with, although I guess people generally say he didn't have his best stuff today. But Castillo, he pitched well. Um, his outing was kind of unspectacular. In a way, it was kind of commendable because he was the ace and he was still able to go 6 scoreless against a playoff team, and I think that's really commendable in and of itself. Like on the road, that's like something that you need in the playoffs or down the stretch. Your ace to be able to go like scoreless, six scoreless against a playoff team. That's really important. And it was not easy for him today, but he found a way to make it happen, and that is what propelled the Mariners to victory today. If we go right here, we can also see that he kind of switched it up. You could tell he wasn't really. I almost want to say he wasn't very comfortable with his arsenal, which I can understand. He was trying to change up the game plan, figure out what was going to work. He threw the changeup 21 times today, 23%. He ended up throwing 108 pitches as well, which I believe is like either the most or second most that he's thrown this year. I know he threw like a good amount in the start against Colorado, like his third of the year when he went 6 perfect. But I believe even that inning or that outing was less pitches than this. But he, Castillo used to be primary changeup a few years back. But he, has struggled to command it this year, struggled to get whiffs on it, and has really cut down the usage of the changeup and gone much more primarily towards the fastball, as evidenced on his Fangraphs page right here, which says he's throwing the fastball 48.4% of the time this year, slider 23, changeup 15, and then if we go a few years back, right here, we'll see back in 2021, and before that, it was, like I said, his primary pitch. He was throwing it the most. So that was, kind of interesting that he, bumped up that changeup usage because, he wanted to find something that was going to work, and, he definitely found success with it. He threw it 21 times, or 23 times, and was able to get 6 whiffs on it, 5 whiffs on it for a 33% whiff percentage today, which obviously a small sample size, but still throwing it 23 times and getting 5 whiffs, that's a good outcome. 15 swings, 5 whiffs, that's a 33% whiff percentage. That's good. That's viable. That's a viable pitch for his arsenal, absolutely. Even if it's not at 33%, same as the 26% called strike plus whiff percentage. That is sustainable, if he's able to get that. As for his velocity today, it was kind of interesting. He peaked at 96.7, 0.7 miles below his yearly average. Velo was kind of just normal today. Not great. But like I said, he did not have his best stuff today. Wasn't the best version of Luis Castillo, but was still able to give 6 scoreless. That's what's important. As for the Mariners' offense today, we can go to right here, to scoreboard, and then exit velocity. So Yandy Diaz on the actual first pitch of the game, or second pitch of the game, I believe. Excuse me. He hit the hardest ball of the day, which it was a 109.4 mile per hour line out to Julio. It was right there. It was in the right spot. It was just the center. As for Josh Lau, had a single at 104.4. Eugenio Suarez had that flyout. One thing, oh, and then Mike Ford, this 104.3 single, that was the only RBI off of the game, and that was off of the bat of Ford. It was a chopping single, but actually it wasn't very, it was kind of chopping. But if we go to right here, I mean, then we can see the recap of that. So what happened was Eugenio Suarez doubled right here, and then Ty France grounded out. But it moved Suarez to third, and then Ford had that single. And then right after that, Rojas had a really, really great plate appearance, which you can see right here. He worked, this was strike one, and then took ball two, which was a close pitch, fouled that off inside, and then took these three pitches in a row, 4, 5, and 6 right here. Really, really solid plate appearance. I was like, it's a good AB. And then right after that, J.P. Crawford popped up into foul territory. Paredes caught it, and Rojas was kind of like halfway between first and second. Paredes immediately caught on, threw it straight to first to Yandy Diaz, who just, caught the ball, and the umpire immediately called him out. And that was that for that inning. I think that Julio was coming up next. There definitely was a chance that maybe this game could have been blown open, or maybe not even blown open per se, but it could have been 2-0 if Julio had ended up being able to hit in that situation. But I'm sure it was kind of a tough game for Rojas overall. He had an error, and then there was an infield single, which if we go right here, this was the single, the 104.4 single by Josh Lau. That was not ruled an error, but it kind of bounced off Rojas's glove, and it would have been a really, really quick inning for Brash, but Brash ended up being fine. And then he had an actual error. If we go to right here, I'm just not, where is it? Oh, there it is, bottom of the seventh, that's right. So yes, here it was, and then it was to Campbell. Okay, that's right, there was the error right here, and then I believe an inning. Oh, never mind. Okay, so it was that, let me see about that Josh Lau single, though. Yes, Josh Lau single's on a ground ball. Yes, okay, yes, and that was the one that was hit at 104.4. Okay, so I have that timeline correct, or those events correct, I mean. But yes, so he had that, and then he had an error later in the game. It was kind of just a rough game for Rojas overall, was making some mistakes, but he's been really, really good as a Mariner so far this year, and I've really been appreciative of his contributions. He's been, playing every day, playing second with generally good defense. Obviously, also, has talked about the swing changes that he's made with Mariners hitting coach Jared DeHart, and how that's really helped him. And so that's something that I'm really, really excited about, that he was able to get back and make some mechanical adjustments, and that's also led to some of his success in Seattle. It reinforces the faith that I know what this organization and what they do with pitching, but it's like, okay, this is a good hitting philosophy. There's good information that's being provided to the hitters, and Josh Rojas is an example of that, because he's made mechanical changes since coming to Seattle and had success. It was kind of a rough game for Julio. If we go right here, he was 0 for 4. I mean, a lot of people were 0 for 4, though, actually. A majority of the lineup was 0 for 4. Or 0 for 3. 0 for, I should just say that. So, you can't really fault them. Littell kind of just, he's struggled this year, but kind of not surprising. Rays, they develop and modify and maximize pitching, probably the best of any organization in the league, so it's not surprising that Zach Littell went 8 innings. He looked like a genuinely good pitcher. But obviously you still want more from the offense. I'm not trying to make excuses. I believe that, he didn't look bad. Kind of surprising why his numbers are what they are this year. He has some. They definitely seem to have maximized his skill set. Teoscar Hernandez, though, continued the hot hitting, continued his hot streak. Of now 15 game hitting streak, or he singled in the first inning right here. So what happened in the first was kind of interesting. JP had a fly out on the first pitch, or a ground out, I mean, and then Julio flew out, and that was 2 pitches, and then 2 pitches later, Cal Raleigh singled. Teoscar Hernandez 2 pitches later singled, and then Canzone 1 pitch later singled. So there was 5 hitters and only 9 pitches in the first inning, which kind of just Littell was just really, really efficient today. Not no double plays, but he was really, really getting through hitters quickly. And there's a reason why he was able to go 8 innings. And he honestly probably could have gone 9. Yeah, he was only at 86 pitches. But yeah, he pitched really, 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 really like just was fantastic against the Mariners. He really just dominated the lineup today. That one run that they scored was like the only thing that they got done against him. As for Munoz, though, it was really, really good to see him get that save against a playoff team. Cal had 2 throwouts today, which was really, really important. That was the Cal throwout of the Cal Raleigh throwout of Luke Raley in the bottom of the ninth was really, really impactful. As you could see, Tampa Bay's win probability went up like a lot by that. And then right there, he got thrown out, and then Walls ended up walking, but and then Aranda struck out, and Walls ended up stealing second, but it was fine because Harold Ramirez ended up striking out. That was the bottom of the ninth. But I think that for Munoz to get those 2 outs, I think was a big confidence booster for him because I know that he's been struggling, and to face that adversity and have those base runners on and still be able to get those outs when the team needed it in like a high stress environment on the road, 1-0 game. That is like the type of big confidence booster for a closer, and something that I think is really, really good, and hopefully something that he can continue to build off of. And I mean, it's kind of ironic that I'm talking about his struggles when he was named the American League reliever of the month in August, only the second Mariner to do so in arguably like the month that he's kind of struggled the most this season. It was also partly because of the volume that he pitched in August as well, which kind of shows how often the Mariners were in close games or winning and needed him. So that's kind of indicative of that as well. But yeah, that's it for today's episode. I appreciate it. Thank you guys all so much for listening. Oh, one more thing before I go though, I want to do a baseball. I'm on the MLB standings. Let me go to the American League, which we're on right now, and then let's go to the divisional standings. Houston is idle today. They have a day off. They have no longer played 2 more games than us. They have now only played 1 more game than us, and we are a half game behind them. They are 80 and 61. Mariners are 79 and 61. Texas is 76 and 63. Texas is also not playing today. And then if we go to the wild card race, then the Mariners now hold the second wild card spot. They would face Tampa Bay, ironically, who they're facing right now if the season ended today. So this could be a potential, preview of a playoff series, wild card series in early October, like exactly a month from now. Actually, I think it would already be over by then. But yeah, so that's the wild card update. That's the standings update. Texas is actually 1 game back now. Toronto has overtaken Texas. Toronto is also idle today, I believe. Yes, they are. Okay, yeah. This is who's playing today. Very, very few American League teams. Just the Tigers, the Yankees, the Mariners, Rays, Angels, and Guardians. That's it. Yeah. So just 6 teams playing today. Not a big slate, but yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you. Peace.